Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of this week's Drop with myself, Sidney Smith, and my brother.
David Greaves.
It's good, bro.
What's good, sir?
We are here the week of Christmas.
Yes.
So, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Hope everyone has a happy and safe, healthy one.
Yeah.
We know your cousin still owes you $20 from last Christmas, but Christmas Day ain't the day to bring it up. Hit him up the next day about it. Say, Venmo me, motherfucker. Where's my money at?
Enjoy the family time.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank everybody who is subscribing to the channel, whether it be because of this podcast or the stand-up comedy special, all of it. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and keep on clicking that subscribe button. This weekend, I will be at Mic Drop Mania in Chandler, Arizona. So go out and get those tickets and come on out and check out the show. Hopefully, Dave will be able to have some time to come out and hang out. Maybe you see both of us if you come to the show. Dave, you got anything coming up?
I got classes January 8th, 4th, and the 14th.
And what could they jump on?
davidsmark.com.
All right.
Click on that. Email me, davidsmark, AZ2020.
And they do a great job of teaching y'all how to protect yourself and stay safe. How should I word this? With your
firearm.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We got a great show lined up for you guys. We got a good one here. I want to jump right into it. Dominique Pellicott, and I believe I'm saying that right. I only took 1 year of French. Mr. Cutler.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Cutler we used to call him Balky Batakimus. That's who he looked like.
Oh, really?
That's what our French teacher looked like. But he obviously spoke fluent French. I took 1 year. I was not that great at it. I'm not ashamed to say I had to look at some other people's papers to pass a couple of tests. So I got that name, I think, as best I could. This individual.
Yeah. You had to pause on that.
I had to pause, man. I don't like these type of people. And he takes it to another level, bro. French man, hit with 20 years. I thought he should have got more. I have no idea what the French laws are. But for the last 10 years, he has been drugging his own wife. And through a website, I believe they called it Coco, he was making deals where they were swapping different photos and different videos of one another's loved ones. He was allowing other men to come over and SA his wife while she was asleep. 50 over a 10-year period. Now, before we get, I want to tell you how he got caught. I want you guys to know how he got caught, in case you hadn't heard this story. Because I hadn't heard it till it came upon me online last week. He got caught because the weirdo, the sicko, was out at a grocery store trying to take pictures with a cell phone underneath women's dresses. And a security guard, which we normally make fun of because they just leaning back with looking up at the sky. One was actually watching him and got a cell phone and was doing his job, doing security, got the cell phone. And when they got it, they found all the different text messages from all these men. And the age range of the men that Dominique was allowing to come over and SA his wife while she was asleep because he drugged her was 50 of them, and they ranged from the age of 24, I believe, to 74. Did you say 26?
I think 26 to 74.
26 to 74 was the age range of these men. Dave, I just wanted to lay the land out for you and everybody. What were your thoughts when I sent it to you and then you jumped on and did some research yourself?
First of all, I couldn't believe it. When you first, I was like, what happened? No, there's no way that this actually somebody paid, or I don't know if they paid them or not, but allowed your wife to be raped.
SA'd.
I'm sorry. Sexually assaulted. By people you never met. You don't know. First of all, letting it happen at all. I was just blown away. And then as I saw the court case, and thankfully all of the men were actually charged also. And they had them all in court, and they're all hiding their faces. And I think they should make them public.
100%.
I think they got 18 months to 15 years, something like that, in different times. One of them was actually his neighbor.
That's what, and you and I were talking about that in the pre-show meeting, because I think I missed that one of them was the neighbor, and your thought or the comment you had was, here this dude is able to look at this woman every day and just always relive it in his mind what he did. Now, the crazy thing, not that all of this isn't crazy, but one of the crazy things was, and to me it came off kind of like a power thing more than any other, because they always say, I think they say SAing, a large part of it is having power over the victim, was that this man gave different rules to the men. You know, you had to have cut fingernails. You couldn't wear aftershave. You had to be clean. All these different things, he had his rules in order to come over and SA his wife that he drugged.
50 different times.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I think she's 70-something years old.
I couldn't, because I can never tell. I wasn't sure how old she was.
I think he was 74.
Okay.
So she's, you know.
It's anywhere from probably mid-60s maybe.
Yes.
And on.
And I don't understand it. I'm totally troubled, blown away by the fact that somebody would think about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people would, that's a good idea. Let me come over and do this.
Mm-hmm.
But it just says that we're in a sick, twisted society.
Which is what I always try to remind Tamara about. Tamara's my wife. I always try to remind her because I want her to, like one time she said, "You are scaring the shit out of me." And I said to her, well, good. Yeah. Because you should be.
There's some weird, crazy folks out here.
There are people who do stuff every single day and we still, why? Yeah. Why? And they couldn't tell you why.
No. You have people running people over. You have serial killers. I think they said anywhere from 3 to 5 at any given time in the country. Mm-hmm. You know.
You need to be always on alert. Now, I'm not saying that this particular wife had anything to do with this.
Yeah. She's a victim.
100% a victim. And who could ever think that this could happen to you because your spouse would be the one doing it?
You think that your spouse is the one who's going to love you, take care of you, protect you. And this is the one who's drugging you and setting up other people to come over and essay you. There's a special place in hell for people like this.
I don't know what they do in French prisons, but I would like to think that the same thing that they do to those individuals who commit that crime here, that would get done there.
Maybe not Bubba, but Francois.
What does that sound like when a dude with a French accent tells you you're in for a long 20 years?
Ooh, la la la.
So it was definitely a crazy story, and I wanted to make sure that we talked about it here.
It just shook me to the core, really. It was like, man, your wife, just, let alone to anybody, but your wife.
The longer I'm alive on this planet, the more I get to see exactly what we're talking about, that there are just crazy, crazy, crazy people here.
Why would you want to have relations with somebody who's knocked out? We talk about it all the time. If you're drunk,
yeah,
not happening. No. Tomorrow, when you sober up, we'll think about it.
Yeah, especially when we were single.
Yeah,
and even now with the wife, it's like this. There's no.
If
she
fun gets drunk, what is the problem?
Yes.
What's going on? You're having a moment.
Well, this is the whole thing. Also, if you want to bring him into it, or I'm going to bring him into it, Darren Sharper.
Yeah.
The safety who played. Darren Sharper.
Mind when I heard the story.
Good looking dude.
Yes.
Playing pro football.
Well
known, making a lot of money, and he was drugging women in order to essay them.
Again, when I first heard it, because he got caught at the Super Bowl out here, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I know who this dude is."
Out here is in Arizona.
Yes. I was like, I know this dude. Like he doesn't need the helmet. He's famous. Like, without the helmet, you know who he is.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows any sports stars, there's women throwing themselves at him.
All the time.
And you did this? But again, it's about the power.
It was about that and about what you were just talking about. I'm assuming, because I don't know Darren Sharper, but maybe there's something in it for you in terms of this person is knocked out. Maybe this is what gets you...
a dead fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this is what gets your vibe.
Well, that's why he's in jail too.
Yeah. 100%. It's just
good for him. I
just want women to just be careful, and some stuff you just can't be prepared for. No. A wife can't be prepared that a husband would be doing this, drugging and allowing 50 men.
How many years? This went on for a while.
10 years. This went on for 10 years. And would have continued to go on had the old
her
had not been out here trying to take photos.
Yes. Under dresses, like, I'm glad he's in jail. And he'll die in jail. He's 20. He won't do 20. No. Hopefully he does long enough to get.
And when you saw when they showed the video, the footage of her leaving court and everything, she just looked like a
grandmother.
Just a woman you would just say, hey, excuse me, go ahead. You know, you let her walk past you.
And not she looks like a grandmother. Don't say it.
6. Yeah, we're not even Catholic. I always say we're not Catholic. Cam Newton. I want to talk about Cam for a couple of different reasons. I like to talk about Cam on the show whenever something interesting pops up because I want Cam to know it's not only Cam who likes talking about Cam.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody loves Cam Newton more than Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the reasons, and I'm going to say this, and Cam may see this and may not care, or he may see this when I'm the biggest star and walk up to me and want to say something. Either way, I don't care. I don't like to watch Cam's podcast because Cam sits back with the hats on and his ascots and scarves and smoking and holding a glass of brandy or whatever the hell he's drinking. Like I only do this podcast so I can have a camera turned on Cam. So, which I just can't do it. Just the way he tries to carry on a conversation just troubles me. The other thing I don't like about Cam is Cam always has a lot to say. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton, let me look right into this camera and remind you of something, sir. When you were in that Super Bowl and it came time for you to get down and get that fumble that would have kind of saved the game possibly for you and your squad, you didn't want no smoke. No smoke. I have a problem with Cam for the same reason I had with Aaron Rodgers. Y'all talk a lot, but you're not saying nothing, and you're not done enough of nothing. All right? Drives me absolutely nuts. So when Cam says something that could not be more dumb, I haven't heard anything concerning strip clubs and why men go more stupid than what Cam Newton said. And what Cam Newton said was, I don't go to strip clubs for the women. Yeah. I go to strip clubs to compete with the guys. And I'm paraphrasing this, folks.
Because he said it differently. And when I first heard it, I was like, I go to strip clubs for the guys. I was like,
I'm going to get the rest of it. I'm going to get the rest. I just want people to understand I'm paraphrasing. I didn't write it down as a direct quote. I don't go for the women. I go for the guys because I'm looking to compete with the dudes. If you throwing 10K, I'm going to throw 15K. If you throwing 20K, I'm going to throw 25K. I found that to be the most asinine thing I've ever heard someone say concerning strip clubs. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you why I thought it was asinine. But first, because I don't like to hog the air, Cam, I want to throw it to my brother over here, Mr. David Greaves.
I actually enjoy Cam because he's a fool, and I get to laugh at some of the dumb stuff he says. I wouldn't have put him in the same breath as Aaron, but you made that kind of make sense. So might have to rethink that mode
every once in a while.
Yes, yeah. Yes, when you sent it to me, I was like, did he just say what I think he said? I'm going to a strip club for dudes. So I had to look at it and hear it again fully, and I was like, oh, okay, for the competition. I thought I called BS on the play because we never going for the competition. Maybe it's the competition of who could pull the baddest pile of folks, but not so I could show you that I got more money in my pocket than you have. Stop it, Cam. No, you went to the strip club for the strippers, and you might be trying to compete to have the bigger pile of women around you. But you didn't, I hope you didn't go to compete with the dude, because you could play Scrabble to compete with a dude by throwing 25 to 30 grand at the strip club. Tell me that you were cool.
I don't know if it still exists, but there used to be a strip club. Now, I've never been a strip club guy, not in my entire life. And I'll say this till the day I die. Strip clubs to me, I enjoy because, or I used to anyway, before they changed up a couple of different things. To me, it was just like being at a bar, except for there's just women walking around without clothes on, because I'm not there to give all my money away to one of them. I'm not there necessarily to sit by the, like I would go in with buddies of mine. They sit at the stage. I sit at the bar, just chatting it up with the bartender, or maybe with if I had a friend of mine. Like at Sonny's, I had a couple of females there that I knew were friends of mine, and we would sit, we would talk, and whatever, and it was cool. Well, one night, T Sizzle, Terrell Suggs came in, and he came in with his crew, and Sonny's had this area, like they didn't have this huge private area like some of your larger strip clubs in some of your major cities had. They had this area where they would pull a curtain. And essentially you were still in the same room, but you just couldn't see anything. Yeah. So they went over, and one of my friends, she looked at me, she said, "Hey, I gotta go over there." You know, I said, "Do it, girl, go ahead and do what you gotta do." Yeah. I understand what this is. This is, you here for business. And I ain't about to pay you at all. I'll buy you a drink. Yeah. And definitely if I did, I'm not getting ready to compete with T Sizzle for your attention. So to your point, which is why I was over here touching my nose, for Cam Newton to say, I'm going to compete with dudes, there is anything that a straight man on this planet does that does not have some way to get around getting more women until you get happily married and you have kids and you know, maybe you age out of that mindset. There's no way he's going to sit here and tell me he went to compete with men. For what? There's no trophy in it for you other than all the strippers are going to come in your direction and be around you.
Yeah. Stop it, Ken. Stop.
It's foolishness. And it's foolishness to say it. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. Yeah. People like Cam Newton drive me absolutely nuts because you guys think because you said something that could have been said in 2 or maybe 1 sentence. You said a paragraph and you said it slowly. You think that makes you sound, I don't know, philosophical.
Yeah, more educated, but you sounded stupid.
This isn't what this is, Cam. You know, and this isn't the only thing. This is just the latest thing with Cam Newton. I can't stand to watch his face and those hats on First Take. I don't know why he's there, other than he has the podcast numbers and they're hoping he brings those viewers. The same reason that ESPN brought Pat McAfee on and his fan base. Hopefully that will come along with him, which I'm sure they did because they gave Pat a lot of money and he's on every single day. Cam Newton drives me crazy. The other thing I would say, as a black man who is rich, who is successful, instead of sitting around all at your age, Cam, wanting to sit around and just discuss how rich you are and why I do this and why I do that and look at me and all this, why don't there more quotes of you giving knowledge to black men? See, what I would have loved to have heard was, I didn't go to the strip club to compete or for the women. I went to compete with men. If you threw 10, I threw 15. That was the dumbest shit that I could have been doing.
Yes.
With that money.
Yes.
And let me tell you why.
Yes. Yes. That would have been, but he wants to be the smartest person in the room at all times. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and arrogantly so. Like when he said, I should be, you can't tell me that I'm not one of the 32 best quarterbacks. Yes, but you're not playing because you don't know how to play the game.
The league is spoken.
Yes. So, I agreed with him on the part that he was talented enough, but there were some other things that you weren't doing to be able to play anymore. I think Teddy Bridgewater, side note, is coming back. He said I was watching a pod and he won Florida State Championship with his team.
Yeah.
But Cam, take notes from Teddy and go do something great. Don't be the greatest thing that we've seen was that right hook that you threw on old boy at your 7-on-7 flag football.
He's a lot. Cam, the sun sets on everybody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't set on everything all at once. It sets on different aspects of your life. And sometimes you have to come to grips that is what that is. When you sit back, and I'm glad you brought this up. I didn't even have that written down here, where he talks about, you can't tell me I'm not one of the 32. The league has told you that you're not. That's why you're at home.
Yes.
That would be like me saying, you can't tell me that I'm not one of the funniest comics, at least in the Phoenix market. Well, if nobody wanted to book me, that's exactly what they are telling me. Or they may be telling you something else. Maybe you might be as talented as someone else who's playing, but maybe you're lacking something else. Maybe you're lacking the modesty of it all. Maybe you're lacking the want to in learning a new system. Maybe you're lacking the quality of, we need to be able to teach you something else, and can you learn something else?
Or thinking that you have to start over somebody else.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a modest person, so for me, I get the confidence and but I think, as you said, the league has spoken that you might have the skill set, but you don't have the ability to understand it. Okay, my place now is to teach the younger people to be better and to be the backup. No, if I'm not starting, I'm nothing. Well, you're nothing. Again, telling folks that you went to the strip club to compete. I ain't never been to a strip club to compete. I've been out competed by a lot of folks in strip clubs.
Yeah, you got some stories.
Yeah, but never ever have I said, I'm going here to compete with this dude over here to show him that I got more money than him. You still went home alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you spent 15 grand to bring one of the strippers home, boy, I'm thoroughly disgusted in that.
Look, the strippers are normally only going home with one or two, generally speaking. I'm not saying that. I've met some that are married. I've met some that have kids that they're trying to take care of. Outside of them, all right, outside of those wholesome ones,
2 or 3.
Yeah, the rest of them are only going home with either the pimp that dropped them off, or the dude who spent the most money on them
or
and
the
made it, right, or made the deal that they just couldn't refuse.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars. Come on through. So you spent $15K. I'm sure you took a couple of them home, and if that made you feel better, and you got to sell it to yourself in another way, feel free. But the only other thing I want to say about Cam, just because you happen to use a word that's 3, 4, every once in a while 5 syllables, and you actually use it in the right context, it doesn't make you a genius, bro. Doesn't make you a genius. All right, on to our next. Oh man, I can't stand that dude.
I like him. He's just
clown. I don't like black people to make us look bad. Travis Hunter.
Yes.
And his lady.
All over the internet right now.
Has been getting a lot of, I feel like I can say this because I watched a clip of Travis pushing back.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis has been getting a lot of unsolicited advice on what to do with, I can't decide if it's his fiance or girlfriend. Because people keep using either.
She's an actual fiance.
Okay.
They're getting married May.
Okay. So people keep giving him advice on how to deal with his fiance. Because it appears when you watch some clips over the last 6 months or so, especially the one they've been highlighting is when he got the Heisman, she's had some missteps. And I'm going to say missteps because I don't know the young lady. Dave, where are you sitting on all the advice that he's been getting and on what you've seen with some of these missteps? Again, I'm calling them missteps with her and him that have been for the public to consume.
Travis, this is what it comes with being a celebrity. This is what comes with being a celebrity with somebody who wants to be a celebrity also. This is what comes with having a relationship that is public and out there. Welcome to the world. It's not going to get any easier for you. I think that the people that are telling you to wait, I understand you love this girl, and she's been a ride or die with you from, I think, 5 years now.
Now, do you question the ride or die part yourself? Or if Travis drove a cab, an Uber, would this still be the same situation?
I think that initially I said she understood the assignment. Initially.
Yeah.
I think that the assignment is changing and morphing, and I don't know if she's able to handle it because people are going to judge him because she's not the same complexion as him. She's older than him.
Is she older?
Yes.
By a lot?
I think 3 years. Yeah.
Why did I think they was going to school?
I think she graduated when he was...
Okay.
So again, she has some qualities that I've seen that were I thought she understood the assignment. I don't. I think she thought she was always going to be bigger than him,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm.
or that he was only going to stay at the level that he was at,
Mm-hmm.
and he has now morphed into this Dionys, because that's the only other person that I could think of that his shine is going to be everywhere,
Yeah.
and I think it's dulling hers, and because they're so public with everything that they do, and the cameras are always on, and not understanding that the camera is always on. And when you say stuff like, "Do I just got to sit here?" Yes,
Yeah.
Or he comes to give you a kiss and you turn your face away. People are going to chisel through that and be the hot topic on everybody's radar.
I almost thought with the whole was that before or after the Heisman when he did
Before.
the photo shoot with the fans?
I think that was after.
Okay, so Travis does a photo shoot. I don't want to say a photo shoot, a meet and greet.
Yes.
With some fans after he wins the Heisman. She's seated on the couch, and I think she's quoted as saying, "Do I have to just sit here?" or something along those lines.
Complaining.
Yeah, but so what I like to do sometimes, and I try to do it as best I can, is when I see a clip, I try to find the longer version.
Yeah.
So I can get what was before that and what was after that, because sometimes context is everything.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find all of it initially, and I said, well, maybe get a girl the benefit of the doubt. Then I believe the next day she came out and told a story about how Travis sat in the car for 6 hours while she went into a party or something along those lines. And so then I thought she fed into what was being said about her the day before. Mm-hmm. And now it comes off as if, you was just sitting waiting to have an attitude at a moment because you were still upset with something. And that's, you could say that's what.
Tit for tat.
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
And again, because his star is through the roof and is, again, going to do nothing but get brighter wherever he goes. So, again, I say to Travis, wait, because the amount of people that you get to come look at you now at Colorado or at Jackson State is going to be so minute compared to you going to the Giants or Tennessee or whatever team drafts you, or the Raiders. Like, you're going to see people and women and folks that you didn't understand you had the opportunity to even be around are now going to be seeking you out.
Absolutely.
How does she deal with that? Because she's already shown to me, again, from the clips that I've seen, that the bright lights got too hot for her.
Well, and this can happen to anyone of any age. So one thing I would say, because this is where I kind of wanted to start, was, Travis, do what you feel like you need to do and what's best for you. Yeah. I hope that everything about your relationship we are not all seeing. I hope there's some things inside between the two of you that the world never sees and should never see, good and bad.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then we can't give you advice on it. The other thing I would say when it comes to young people, and all us old folks should know this, when you try to tell a young person they can't do, all you're doing is pushing them in the direction.
I really think that's what's happening right now, is that everybody telling him how bad she is and he should wait, and that they're making him he's going to, because they already have a date in May. So he's like, well, I'm just going to do it no matter what type of thing.
Right.
And, then you don't want to be able to, see, we told you so. And what if you're wrong? What if she is the most amazing person for him and remains that forever?
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I just, from experience, I'd say May of 2026 doesn't change a thing. It doesn't have to be May of 2025.
If you know me, you've heard me say this over the years. I'm going to be the biggest star on the planet. And I don't say it because it sounds good to say. I say it because I believe it and I know it to be true. And I've always said this about myself. And because of that, I have the luxury of having some years on me that Travis doesn't have yet. So if I was going to say anything, it would be, if you know where you want to be and how you're going to get there, make sure you're taking the right people with you. I was with the woman, I did a little t-shirt design, and some folks asked me to be a part of a fashion show. And I said, sure. I didn't know anything about how to get models or anything, but ended up being able to pull it together. And I stepped away to grab something for one of my models, and the newspaper came over, and the woman I was with at the time was taking pictures with the models, and he asked a question, and she couldn't see that I was not that far away, and said, hey, did you design these? She said yes.
Took credit for it.
Took credit for it. And so I'm not saying that's what his lady did. I'm using this story to say, just be careful who you have around you. Because to your point, when your light is starting to shine brighter and brighter, there are people who see it. There are people who see where you're going to go before you see where you're going to go.
Yeah.
And are trying to jump onto the cape so that when it takes off, they can say, I was always there. Yeah. Remember me?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else's wife right now. There's a couple of football players who are playing right now. I could talk about their wives. I'm not, because the wives have not been in the news, and I try not to talk about people's wives if I can help it, unless they do something recent memory. But there are always going to be people and women who think that they should be able to stand in your light, and there should be something in it for me. And there are also going to be people who are going to show their asses at the wrong time.
And that is the problem that everybody's hyping on, is that it seems like it's the wrong time. And again, he has explained that, it's my relationship and I know what's going on, and y'all don't know everything that's happened and what's occurred. I don't. I just know that it's not going to get any easier. The more miscues, missteps, you're going to be tabloid news.
Yeah.
And can they stand the pressure of that? Do you want to have that unnecessary pressure? Is what again, we have friends that, you could take certain places, some you can't.
Right.
Give it a second. There's no rush that you have to do it this time, this May. You could do it the next May. Because you're going to have a lot of pressure on you to do what you've got to do. And coming from college to pros is going to be different.
Yeah, I myself personally, so Tamara and I did a podcast. We did a few episodes. We may come back. We may bring that back. We'll see.
It's an amazing one too.
Thank you. You can still listen to it, running in slow motion, where we come on and we talk about our shit, our marriage. How do we get through things? We may even pull, like you've seen Dave and I do, we'll pull a clip from IG or something, and that may be the topic. But even with that, because my wife is super private, we would go over what we're going to talk about, what is okay for one another to bring up, what isn't okay for one another to bring up. Again, I'm private, even though I do all of this. She's even more private. And I love that about her. I don't think, now there's some celebrities that love being with other celebrities for whatever reason they do it. But there's some, you don't even know what the spouse looks like. You don't know what they sound like. Now, Denzel here recently, I've been seeing more clips of his wife and he together did different events. And maybe that's because he's starting to, if you believe what he says, he's going to be pulling back and retiring in about 5 or 6 films. I don't know what Samuel Jackson's wife sounds like. I don't see her on things all the time. And I'm not saying one way is better than the other way. But I would far more, I think, enjoy having a spouse who did not mind being in the background.
It's just hard. I think about Oprah and Stedman.
Perfect.
Not be married. Her light is so bright that you're Oprah's man, not Stedman, not any. You're always going to be second billing to that. You have to have the personality to take that and be able to, we don't want you in the picture, man, just him,
right?
And not feel resented or resentful from it. I mean, I get, again, initially, everything I saw of her, it was always deferring to him. And I was like, okay, she, as I said, she understood.
That's what you said. You did say.
Yeah, she understood it. I was like, yo, that girl gets it.
Yep.
But I think as he got brighter and brighter and brighter, you're not the pretty one.
Right.
You're Travis's pretty girl.
Yeah,
you're his trophy.
Right.
And not, she's always been a pretty girl, so that was her doorway into stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? It can go both ways. And I want to say this because you just said something that reminded me of something. With my wife, she's a superstar in her profession. And we've been at functions where I'm in her world.
Yeah.
And people in that world love her.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to talk with her. And they have all these different discussions about things that I'm not privy to because I don't work in that world.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with sitting. Let me just find my spot, lean against the wall, sit down, and she'll come over like any good spouse. You good? You okay? I'm fine.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Go do your thing.
I'm my wife's biggest cheerleader in
that
type of thing.
Yes.
And I want you to be the star in what you do. I don't have a problem taking the back seat because I know that my light shines bright a lot of times.
Yep.
So for me to be able to defer is like, I don't have to turn it on.
Yeah.
Or dim it down because I'm the, sought after person.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I always try to make sure that I go out of my way to include my wife in, here's my wife.
100%.
This is my wife, and so much so that sometimes the first thing I say, oh, you're my wife.
Yes.
To make it known, this is the line, this is my, this is what I say is my good thing that puts the battery in my back when I'm tired,
right?
Recharges it for me.
Right.
So Travis, again, I really hope that she can fall back into place and understand that is going to be her place and be able to be in that place.
Yeah, and I love the way you put it. Somebody out there will probably complain, if not today, if not tomorrow, maybe 10 years from now about that verbiage. But falling back into place. Because I think it goes both ways. I just got done telling you guys how I fall back when my wife, her time is to step up and to be the star of that occasion. And it is about knowing when to step up, when to fall back. And to your point that you made not too long ago, it is knowing who you're with. If you decide to be with Oprah, like Stedman decided, and Stedman was not just hanging on a street corner when Oprah found him. Stedman was a successful man.
Yeah. In
his own right. And so he wasn't some okie doke bum just looking for somebody I can just catch a ride with. And you just give me a little black card or something. I just did in the background. He wasn't that dude. And he understood, as you always like to say, the assignment. I'm with Oprah.
Yeah. They don't want me in the picture. They don't want, again, when I do bodyguard work, I tell folks, there's maybe 3 pictures total of me in a picture with the person I'm protecting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my job. I'm not in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking the picture, but I'm not in the picture. I'm not the celebrity. You are.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw something at you real quick, and you tell me who they are. Beyonce. B.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We all know who she is.
Yeah.
Just one name.
Yes.
Jay. Who you think of?
Yeah. Jay-Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in jail, but still Diddy.
Yeah. Sting.
I'm sorry?
Sting.
Okay. No, I'm saying, Sting.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
LeBron. Dion. If Travis' career keeps going the way it's going, all you're going to have to say is Travis.
Yes.
Oh, Travis Hunter. That's who you're talking
exactly.
About. So you have to, when you say Kevin Hart.
Mike, there's either Jackson or Jordan.
There it is. And so you have to just understand Oprah, obviously, Madonna.
Yes.
There are so many out there. When you're with someone who's known by one name, Brad, I need you to sit down.
Yeah.
Or stand up.
Yes.
Or go get in the car.
Yes.
Or get out the car.
Or understand that is the lane of because there's in every relationship there's a strong and there's a weak. And it's strong in something and weak in something else, and the other person is strong in that and weak in something else.
Mm-hmm.
If they are the brighter light, are you okay with not being with the bright lights on you?
Yes.
Or you're not? Can you? And that's the only thing that I'm hoping that the lights are not too intense to burn her up.
Right.
Because it's hard being with a superstar and you're, who are you? I'm his wife for 10 years. Oh, and don't think it doesn't happen.
It's not just, but it is on the individual to make sure that they, bring that spouse in. But it's hard for you, I think, if you want to be the star.
Again, because she's a beautiful young lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been the star in her own light. And not for nothing, but Travis is not the most attractive kid in the world. If he wasn't winning the Heisman or wasn't a superstar football player, I don't know if he would have been able to
pull her. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now that it's Travis' world and you're, secondary, and that light is getting super bright.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we always say that the light will, anything you want to hide, the light will open up or something like that. I think that this is starting to show some cracks, and hopefully they're not cracks that aren't unrepairable.
I will say this, and because I don't want to put it all on just her, because you and I, when I was making coffee, we were in the kitchen, we were talking about some different things. And one thing that you and I agreed on on a particular conversation, I'm not going to divulge someone else's business, that's why I'm not saying that entire thing, is that when you come out the gate in a relationship, whether you're the man or the woman, and I'm going to just use basketball as the example, when you come off the bench with this individual dunking from the free throw line, layups are never going to be allowed.
No.
Because but I still scored. Yeah, but you didn't dunk it.
You got the same amount of points for both.
But you didn't dunk it though.
Yeah.
So he came out the gate with the social media, highlighting her. She's all over the place, almost to your point, as if we're equals. And you're right. He's coming from Jackson State. Colorado hadn't done what Colorado had done this season. The Heisman Trophy wasn't really even on the radar for him, so to speak, even though he was good.
That light just said, do, 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 do.
Right. And so to a certain extent, this may be an adjustment that hopefully that they can make as adults.
Because he loves her. He really does love her.
Oh, anytime a young dude get on social media, and he was so proper with how he told people to mind your business.
He's a good kid. This is why for him, I really hope that she can
make the adjustment.
Yes.
Make the adjustment.
Because he genuinely loves her. They've been through a lot. He said, I run everything through her. Before I talk to anybody else, I talk to her. So this is his confidant. This is his good thing. I just hope that she can understand that his star is going to do nothing but be a shooting star as long as he stays healthy and can do what he does. If he does anything like this in the pros, he's Deion 2.
And you're gonna go where he goes, and there will be plenty of time for you to get whatever it is that you would like for yourself out of the situation. Because I don't know if she would be with him or not, but one thing I do know, whatever she's got coming down the road, you wouldn't have got it if you wasn't with this dude.
And there's
I hate to say it that way, but it be what it be.
She can. This is when I hope and I say that whoever's with somebody has to have their own lane of what they do. You can't just sit at home and be a trophy wife, because the trophy only gets dusted off every once in a while.
I'm not talking about just that though, Dave. I'm talking about being able to go to a 5-star spot no one can get into and say, I'm Mrs. Hunter. Hey, I like to get a table.
But she needs her own profession so that she can take something and not just be behind him.
Dave, yes, I agree with you. But you're always going to be, if he does, unless you do something that can surpass, you're always going to be.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can do.
And and I'm going to say there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Because you're going to get a lot of things that you probably wouldn't have got if you did not walk in as such.
People are going to give you, because you're Mrs. Travis Hunter.
Come on.
They're going to open doors and say, oh yeah, come on over here. We'll give you this job. We'll open this door for you. We'll allow you to do supermodel, whatever it is that you want to do. And I can't remember. She has a degree in something. So she's not a very smart girl. I just need her to understand that no matter what you do, you're never going to be bigger than Travis Hunter.
No. And I got news for you. People like to walk around talking about you ought to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know who says that? People who did not have to only pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Yeah. They got a little help along the way at a certain point.
And take the help. It reminds me of Prince Harry and
Oh
Markle.
yeah, Meghan Markle.
Same.
It's weird that you brought them up because I haven't heard anything about them in over a year. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
It just makes me think of like, I think that the light got too bright for her, and he acquiesced to making her equal, and I kind of got respect but lost respect for him at the same time.
I've never seen anybody break up,
They
separate a person from their family faster than Meghan separated him from his family.
and blew the whole crown up.
This
the
dude,
jewels and everything.
Bruh.
Ooh.
All for what? All for some, look at this contract we can get today and make this money today on our own. And but you're giving this up, bruh.
Yeah.
You're giving this up. And that's your family. Good or bad or indifferent, that's still your family. Those still the people you've known your entire life. For this,
you know,
I never heard you say a bad word about these people. So she came around.
Says that you get married and you cleave to your wife. So he cleaved to his wife. You leave your mother and father.
You could leave without destroying the relationships.
Yeah. But I guess, you know, he felt like they were grimy and they did grimy stuff. But
you never said anything before? You was over here in the grime?
Well, that was because when you were doing the grimy stuff, she wasn't a woman of color. And then they thought about, well, wait a minute, you bringing this brown thing up in this house. You bringing the help. You don't know that folks are the way they are until they gotta.
Oh, he knew. he knew.
If he didn't know, he found out fast.
He knew.
But as for Travis, I'm wishing you the best, and for the young lady, 100%. I hope that you guys can
works.
That you can maneuver through this, because they're coming for you, girl.
But shut the door on that relationship, man. Don't let everybody in.
Yeah,
find your little crew that you can go to.
People ain't got nothing better to do than
nothing.
Oh, Travis, you should do this and you should do that, and she's not good because she's white. That, you know. Listen, just let that go, man. Stop talking about and trying to make people understand it. Because some people don't want to understand. They don't care.
Misery.
Loves company.
Pure misery. All right.
Yes. Whew.
50 Cent. Back at it again. Your guy out of New York.
Love 50.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Years ago, I worked at Lids. And if you ever noticed, I love wearing ball caps. And so Liz was a great job for the time that I had it. And one of the cool things with Lids back then was we could pick our own music. And we played that first CD that 50 dropped nonstop in the store. Yeah. And so it's one of the best, I think, best CDs ever. And I think most of you would agree because the numbers that it did when it dropped was just outstanding.
You do 11 million, something like that?
Something like that. Since then, because 50 loves beefs. Obviously, we know his history of getting into beefs with Ja Rule and I think Fat Joe as well, right? When there's something there.
I don't know anybody who he hasn't gotten into.
But one of my favorites is Benzino.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorites because I'm a big Eminem guy. And Benzino had a thing where he would just go after M every chance he got. And then as they say, 50 inherited that beef from M. Mm-hmm. And that stuff still carries on to 2024. So much so that there was a video, or I should say a link to a video that 50 couldn't wait to share of Benzino threatening to unalive himself with a knife to his chest because allegedly he had abused his girlfriend and she called the cops. So it went from that. I found it on The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
And while they're playing it, Jess Hilarious is laughing. Kind of over, you can hear, I'm laughing. Yeah. So after they get done, I believe Envy asked her, why was she laughing? I don't even know what I'm sorry. Normally, I'm not at a loss for words. It's just the silliest thing, and it's the funniest thing at the same time. Again, I told you guys like 2 weeks ago, I kind of lack empathy. So, Dave, you heard it.
Yes. Benzino makes it easy.
Yeah, he does.
Because he was such a
douche.
Yes, he portrayed himself as such a big, never running, never scared, can't come for me. Because That's the source.
Mm-hmm.
And, he did a lot of dirt to folks because he had power and he thought he was bigger than he was, to me. And now to see him groveling, because this is like the second or third time I've seen him whining and crying and snot coming out his nose over something that...
I think his daughter has taken him to task publicly a couple of times.
Of just things that he's done, and it might be because of drugs or whatever. So I have to give him a little bit of... No, I don't. He's a jerk, and he gets everything he deserves. So when I heard the video, I was like, or heard the audio, and then they were like, well, maybe he said, because Benzino has come out and said it was for a...
He said he was rehearsing for a Tubi movie.
Yes. And Jess is like, absolutely not. Nope, not. I don't believe it. And they were like, well, what do you mean? First of all, he is a Tibu, like, superstar.
Yeah.
Like, they make movies just for him because he can do the same thing in every movie. I love 50 because 50 trolls people. And
constantly.
Yeah. So you can't have an off day on 50 because 50 is killing. I think he paid for the movie for against Puffy.
Yeah, and he's got his own doc. He said he's been working on. He's going to put out. Like, I love 50 because the trolling I find to be entertaining, but I also love Fifth, especially in the interviews, because you can see the man is just happy to be himself. I always say when it comes to people who come from that background, Jay-Z, Fifth, we can think of Fat Joe, all of those guys. I'm thinking of New York rappers. You can say the same thing about Snoop and those guys, Corrupt, and those guys who came out of the West Coast as well. Say the same thing about a lot of Southern rappers too. Guys who come from where they come from and have managed to, because here's the thing, the trap was always, I'm the talent. Mm-hmm. And you, sir or ma'am, have owned the label or owned whatever, and the way it was always in the past, and even now today, because you hear people still talking about it, you're going to suck me dry for everything you can. Because a lot of times, I'm coming to the table with nothing in my pocket. So everything you're giving me, I have to pay back. Yeah. And then some way, I didn't get somebody, my Uncle Ray helped me read the contract, and he missed this clause and this clause, and somehow I'm in that TLC situation, yes. No matter how many...
Great example, yes.
No matter how many records I've sold. Mm-hmm. So to see people like these guys, to come from that background with that talent and not be exposed and used and drained dry, and flip it into something, and then to flip it into something else. And I'm not going to say why these guys are really good at flipping, but be able to take something and to flip it, and then take something and flip it. Yeah. That's one of the things I enjoy about Fifth. Now you hear about him buying and going to put his own studio. Yes. I forget where it's, but somewhere in the South, I think Louisiana.
Yes, Baton Rouge.
Sitting down with Tyler, and Tyler's giving him some whatever advice he's giving him to help him go to the next thing. This is one of the reasons I just love to listen to Fifth, because he not only does he troll, but Cam, you know what else Fifth will do? Yeah. Fifth will get on and share knowledge and real information and teach, so that other people who look like him can strive and make their own way. So I really enjoyed Fifth. Now, Benzino, I've never enjoyed. I don't care if he was on Love and Hip Hop. I don't care what he was on.
Always.
Because you know what I always found to be funny with him is, you're right, always trying to act tough, act hard. And I don't know if that's because he's short or whatever it is. But then you get to see these other sides of him where you a square, bro.
Yeah. Yes.
You a square, bro.
Yes. You've been fronting and but we always say it all come out in the wash. Like you smell, I can smell it.
Yeah.
You're not a thug, bro. Stop it.
You a square, bro.
Yeah.
And so this made me laugh because you guys got to go find the clip from the Breakfast Club. And if you don't laugh, put it in the comments and tell me you didn't laugh. This dude is in tears. You can hear. I could envision it on the floor, trying to unalive himself, threatening to unalive himself with a knife, and telling his lady, call him back and tell him don't come.
Mm-hmm. Where does that work at?
I never heard it.
But you can call and say, "Oh no, it was a false."
If it does, you better do it before they get there.
Again, if they call you back, if you hang up and they say, and you could say, "Well, it was my kid died or something." But if you said, I've been essayed or I've been assaulted, and they're coming. Mm-hmm. And if it's in New York, it's no like you don't have to press charges. The state presses charges.
Well, the Tubi movie stuff didn't work either because, there's always chain of custody.
Yeah.
And or I should say a bibliography. I guess I can use either one. But the gentleman who first released it was interviewed.
Yeah.
And he says how he got hold of it and what was happening. Benzino did what she said he did.
Yeah.
She recorded it because that's what women in that position will sometimes do.
She was trying to make sure that she had evidence in case it happens again.
Sent it to her girlfriend.
Yes.
And then her girlfriend said, this ain't right.
Yes.
And sent it to old boy.
Yes.
Who put it out.
Yes.
So no, this was not a rehearsal.
Yes.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up was two reasons. One, I don't like Benzino. And two, I do not like men who put their hands on women.
And then he tried to come back and say, well, I never would do that. I never did it. Bro, you've done it. So stop. Again, there's people who have serious. So for me, the problem was playing with unaliving yourself. And using that as the ploy to.
Because you're a coward.
Yeah.
Because you're a coward. Which is what most men who put their hands on women are. Yeah. You're a coward. You put allegedly. Allegedly, that's what you did.
Yeah.
So let's say allegedly you put your hands on her. So allegedly you are a coward.
Yeah.
Because allegedly you were faking like you're going to unalive or threatening to unalive yourself to keep the cops from coming to arrest you.
Yeah. Just
because you're an alleged coward.
I'm gonna take the alleged part off because
I was being sarcastic with it.
He said in the video, 50, I'm benching 310. I don't care how
much. Who cares?
I don't care how much you bench it. And if you want to find me, how to find me.
Who cares? Yeah. How much I've seen dudes. I myself have planted more big dudes who bench the world. It doesn't matter.
He don't want none of 50. You don't want none of 50 because 50 is not hard to find.
And it doesn't matter.
He's like 5'2".
Somebody out
5'4".
there, because I don't know it off the top of my head. If anybody out there knows a story about where Benzino planted another man on the ground, straight up, head to head, fist fight, please drop it in there so I can read it because I've never heard it.
I've seen plenty of video of him getting
planted in the dirt.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah. It's busted in the whole nine. So, because again, you're not the tough guy that you portray yourself to be. Yeah. You might want to be, but that's not who you really are. So stop trying to be it, especially with people that you are. It's like a heavyweight and a lightweight. And that's why I feel bad sometimes because 50, these dudes are like punching up. And he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Here's a video of your kid and your family. Like, I think he did Fat Joe a couple times where, he was like, oh, this is where your mom works. And, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, don't play with me because I don't have sense.
Yes. It's 50, he cracks me up. And he will go the extra mile with all of it. And that is one thing you and I talk about all the time. We try to stay away from certain things and certain people because, I go the extra mile.
Yeah, I'm going to take it too far. I'm going to take it too far. If you open the door up and make me take it too far, I'm going to take it all the way too far where why we had to, because.
And that's 50.
Yes.
50 is that you thought it was over.
Yeah.
Like 50 is like Jason in Friday. He's always coming out the water.
Yeah.
He's always coming out the water.
Yeah.
I thought I killed him.
Yeah.
Or I thought he went away. Or I thought I got to be too small. He wouldn't care about me. No. Which is the other thing I like about 50. He has a long memory like an elephant. Yeah. And he keeps coming.
And he's, again, businessman. You can't say he's not smart. He's has so many ventures and venues that he's winning on. So it's not by luck that this is happening for him.
Yeah.
He has a work ethic. Again, you don't hear about him in the club. He doesn't drink. And he's like, I'll hold a drink because I'm selling the drink.
Right.
And I'm not drinking.
Right.
I don't drink. I don't smoke.
A lot of people do that, by the way, folks. Yeah. Y'all don't know that, but a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you think they drinking.
Yeah.
There's apple juice in there.
Yes.
You have no idea. All right. I got to hit you with one. This is a surprise one. Dave has no idea. I didn't tell him about this one in the pre-show because I wanted to get you fresh on this one. I'm going to tell you, give you just a quick, and I want to hear what you guys think too, so put it in the comments. We're back with some more Drake and Kendrick. Now, Dave and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Kendrick will be going to Toronto next summer and doing a concert.
Yes.
Drake, to combat that, went and bought all of the floor seats at the venue.
Yeah.
Kendrick has now said the concert will be free. Go.
First of all, you're copying somebody else's move. 50 did this.
Uh-huh. To Ja Rule.
So you're trying to be slick and smart. Gotcha. Why are you still trying to play with this dude? He already has the anthem of the summer that is now Christmas. People go in February. We're gonna hear.
They not like us. To the tune of Frosty the Snowman.
The whole stage. The crowd is all going to be singing this song.
Super Bowl is coming.
And you want to play with this boy. Leave it alone. Yeah. Just stop. You tried this lawsuit. You've tried all this. Just stop. You came up with an album that went nowhere. I had to hear that you had put it out. And again, Drake, I like your music, but leave him alone. He's not in your league. Leave Kendrick alone.
I want to give credit where credit's due. I heard this. I only found out about this because, again, YouTube. I was watching or had clips playing in the background. I was getting some work done. And does the Brat have her own radio show, or is she on someone else's? Do you know?
She was doing something with.
I thought she was doing something. Was it with Ricky Smiley?
Yeah.
So I saw a video, and it was the Brat sharing this story, and I was like, this one I got to drop on Dave, unless he hears about it before I do, or before I get a chance to, but. So I said it quickly because I wanted to get a quick reaction. So let me say it again for people. Kendrick's going on going on tour with SZA.
Yeah. They're
going to Toronto. Drake has already bought all the floor seats. So Kendrick said, "Oh, that's cool. The concert will be free."
Yeah. Touché.
And I'm with you. Leave it alone.
Yes.
Let it go.
Listen, he body slammed you. And you got up and he, I can't say the B word, but slapped you.
Yeah.
In front of everybody, in front of your grandma. And you just said,
yeah.
He deboed you. There's a perfect example. He deboed you.
He gonna cry in the car.
Just go in the car, cry. Live to fight another day. Stop messing with this kid because he's just crushing you at every which way. He's making you look. You're looking like a straight sucker, like a sip is what they call him now. That's what he's looking like. You should get Sip of the Year award.
Ooh.
Simp of the Year award. Ooh. Matter of fact, I think they were talking about other people.
Ooh.
But I think that's his award.
That's Drake's?
Yeah, because they were trying to put a couple of other people in there, and no, that's yours.
And I think there's quite a few people who would second, third, and fourth that with you. Yeah,
you know how Charlamagne does Donkey of the Day?
Yeah.
Or Donkey of the Simp of the Year.
I like it.
Drake.
Let's end it on that right there. Yeah. Simp of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, thank you again for watching this week's drop. Again, appreciate you. Thank you guys. Been great for subscribing to the channel. I have a new channel that I'm going to be starting called You Hear Good Things Podcast Network. This podcast will be moving over there, and they'll be along with staying where it is now. And then there'll be some other podcasts headed in that direction as well. So if you watched all the way to this point, please go find You Hear Good Things and go ahead and start subscribing to that today.
Yes, share, like, comments. Sponsors, still looking for you?
Still looking for you. And also, next week is the big guy's over here's birthday along with my wife, so there will be no recording. No
We're
recording.
Not gonna do a birthday recording?
No.
Okay.
I mean, did you want to do a birthday recording?
Why not?
Yeah? You want to rock it out on your birthday?
We'll do it on the patio.
Okay.
Smoke some cigar.
All right, let's do it on the patio. All right, sounds like a plan.
Might be a little chilly, but we'll figure it out.
We'll see you guys next week. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Be safe.